Monty once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. I'm owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment, full service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. The largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent or lay away as well. Large inventory of articles, demonstration videos, podcasts, blogs covering surveillance, counter-surveillance, health and fitness, economics and finance, cybersecurity, terrorism, anti-terrorism. Spend a lot of time and money revamping the business and the website for the future, for the next hopefully 10, 15 years or something. Now this particular podcast is all about Trump's lack of real response to the California wildfires. Now, I'm really disappointed, primarily as a taxpayer. The last time I checked, when I send money out to the federal government, those fucking idiots are really supposed to take my money and respond accordingly when there's a natural disaster in the particular state where you reside. In other words, if you're in Florida, if you're in Texas or something, when you send your money to Washington and there's a national emergency declared in your state, the federal government and the president is supposed to come out and first of all express some sort of condolences for the families and the victims. You got pets, animals, families, etc. that are dying, and as a result of these wildfires. And this idiot has yet to hold a news conference expressing his condolences to anyone. What kind of heartless, soulless moron have we put into office? And how do we sue this moron and put these idiots in jail, or just get them out of there, get them as far away from Washington as possible? Because, again, when I look at the news and I see families who have been separated from their homes, and I see loved ones who have perished in the flames, this is not a political issue. This is not an opportunity to debate. This is not a cock-sucking discussion anymore. This is a crisis. This is a national emergency. And any idiot who thinks this is time to be political needs to be thrown off of a cliff immediately, because they're a waste of human flesh. So again, to have an idiot like Wilbur Ross or Donald Trump or anybody, even the people from the Bureau of Land Management or whatever, talk about this is a matter of allocation of water resources, needs to be put in a straitjacket and thrown inside a rubber room for life, because these fires, particularly in California, unless you're completely retarded, you know that these fires, most of them are located adjacent to very large lakes and water reservoirs, etc. So if it was a matter of getting access to water, the fires would have been put out a long time ago, okay? But we have extreme heat. I don't know whether or not these cocksuckers in Washington or whoever thinks that this is anything other than Mother Nature telling us there's a major imbalance when it comes to these weather-related events. Then you know, again, they need to be replaced as soon as possible. They need to be thrown out of Washington, and maybe they'll be better off selling oranges on the freeway or something, where we don't have to worry about them affecting people's lives and such. Besides, I don't need to spend money on these cocksuckers by way of paying higher federal taxes to morons and idiots. So we need to see Donald Trump do something about just being responsible as a human being, not even a president, but just being responsible as a human being, and understanding that when you have these children and these families and these animals perish in flames, that's a serious issue, okay? And somebody needs to go in front of a podium in a news conference or something and state first how they, excuse the noise, wrapping up my cleaning up my car. But they need to go in front of the, have a news conference immediately and talk about hopefully how their heart is hurt by the idea of people losing loved ones and dying in these wildfires. Okay, this is a serious event, and again, unless these cocksuckers want to give me a refund for all the federal dollars that I sent to Washington that aren't coming back to California, if these idiots don't need my money and aren't going to use my money to help battle wildfires and national emergencies in my state, then send my money back to me. I can figure out how to use it myself. I think we Californians, we can probably afford to keep our monies in our pockets and send it to the state rather than the federal government, because obviously the federal government doesn't have a clue in terms of what's going on in this state. Probably because these idiots didn't get any votes and from Californians and people on the West in particular. So now they want to make a political issue out of it. But, you know, there's a place in hell for these people who are thinking only in terms of votes. Excuse the noise again, got to wrap up a few things. But see, everything is not a matter of votes and who's going to vote for you, who's not going to vote for you. Okay, because Donald Trump has a family and people are related and a lot of people know each other. And Trump himself may not be, a citizen of the state or something, but I'm pretty sure there are some Trumps who know people who are related to some people who are in California and some of the other states where there's been wildfires and devastation. And that those monies and public officials overall, starting from the top, need to acknowledge, first of all, how their hearts are impacted by what's going on, and then hopefully contribute some of the monies that we sent to Washington. Okay, this is not coming out of their pocket. This came out of my pocket already. This is coming out of our pockets. So we're not asking for something that we're not entitled to. Again, when I do my taxes next year, or when we do our taxes, if we don't send the money to Washington in the first place, then maybe the cocksuckers will have a lot less money to work with. Okay, so maybe they can figure out how to come up with their own monies to play around with, if that's what they want to do. But we don't need to contribute anything at all to those idiots if they're not going to make sure that money comes right back to the same states that need the money by way of fighting fires and floods and everything else that we need to take care of. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this session up. But we need to rally against these idiots and these cocksuckers in Washington and make sure they understand when children are dying, when family members are dying, when our poor animals and the horses and the dogs and the cats, when they're perishing in fires, which is probably one of the most miserable ways of dying, somebody needs to stand up and say, look, now it's time to stop playing around, okay? Now it's time to be an adult. Now it's time to be responsible as a human being, let alone a politician or any of the other cocksucking divisions that people separate themselves into. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this session. And as I like to say at the conclusion of every session, keep your eyes and ears open and be safe out there. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.